Good afternoon, my lovely people. A pleasant day to you. All right, let me start with a simple question. What do you think shapes a person's life more? Big decisions or small daily habits? What do you think? Most people immediately think of big moments. Choosing a career, getting married, starting a business, moving to a new country. And I mean, these are all wonderful things. I suppose most of us would want to achieve this, if not all. But the truth is this: your life is not shaped in the big moments, it is shaped in the small ones you repeat every single day. Small habits are powerful because they're silent. They don't feel important in the moment. They really don't. Like, you think it's just really insignificant. But over time, they build the direction of your entire life. Think about it. No one becomes healthy from one workout. No one becomes fit from one salad. No one becomes successful from one good decision. But people do become healthy from consistent exercise. They become fit from consistent discipline. They become successful from consistent effort. The small actions repeated over time create massive results. Now let's talk about something important. Most people underestimate the power of consistency because it feels so. Sometimes I feel the feeling, but I don't give up. So I know he said, boy, this seems insignificant. And as a matter of fact, you have days where it seems as if you're regressing, like you're going backwards, like you're reversing. Jamaicans would say reverse back. That's redundant. It's the same thing. Once you reverse, you're going back. We live in a world that loves instant results, instant success, instant money, instant recognition. But real growth is never instant. A tree does not grow overnight. A river does not carve a canyon in a day. Even the strongest buildings are built brick by brick. Consistency is what turns small effort into big results. But here is a challenge. Good habits are easy to start, but hard to maintain. Bad habits are easy to maintain, but hard to break. That is why discipline matters more than motivation. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you going. And the people who succeed in life are not always the most talented, which is so true. Most of the people who are successful are not always the most talented. They are the most consistent. Now let's talk about identity. Every habit you repeat is shaping the person you are becoming. If you read every day, you become a reader. If you train every day, you become disciplined. If you waste time every day, you become distracted and a time waster, an idle human. And trust me, as the saying goes, the devil finds time for idle hands, and you don't want him to find time for them. Trust me, or trust and believe. Your habits are not just actions. They are votes for the type of person you are becoming. They vote for who you are becoming. So the real question is not just what do I want to achieve. The deeper question is, who am I becoming through my daily actions? Another important truth is this: you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fail to the level of your systems. Many people have big dreams but weak systems. They want success, but they do not build the daily structure required for success. A goal without a system is just a wish. Now let's talk about change. People often think transformation requires dramatic action. But real transformation usually comes from small improvements. If you improve just 1% every day, over time the results become extraordinary. The same is true in reverse. If you decline just a little every day, you may not notice it immediately, but over time the impact becomes significant. That is why awareness is so important. Be aware of your habits. Be aware of your routines. Be aware of your choices, because what you do repeatedly is what you become. Finally, I want to leave you with this challenge. Do not underestimate the small things. Do not ignore the daily choices. Do not wait for a perfect moment to start improving your life. Instead, ask yourself, what is one small habit I can start today that will improve my future? What is one bad habit I need to stop before it shapes my life any further? And what kind of person do I want to become through my daily actions? Remember this, your future is not built in a single moment. It is built in thousands of small moments you often overlook. So choose wisely, act consistently, and grow intentionally. Because in the end, it is not the big things that define your life. It is the small things that you do every day. You know, the other day before I go, I said, Lord, I look so huggy. You know, like gain us a whole heap of weight. And I started to think, oh my God, every day I've been eating this cheese tricks thing, you know. I said, oh my God. You know, not a lot, you know, just a little bit, but over time. And I see it pack on the weight, you know, because sometimes you don't realize. It's just think, Lord, is one, and I'm not saying that we can't eat a little of the snack sometimes. And as I read that, I thought about it and I said, you become what you do every day. And one of the mistakes that we make, we feel that we have to feel it. You know, we act too much on feelings, not understanding that feelings are fluid. You know, this moment you can feel very sad, and somehow you get some news and you said, oh my God, what? And your sadness quickly turns to joy. Then the next moment you get some news that flips you out and gets you very angry. And you say, what the heck am I? I can't even say bipolar. Like you want to try, you know, all over the place. You know? So you can't trust your feelings. You have to just do. You have to just do. One of the things that I try to practice every single day, one of the things I want to do is make it habitual at nights, is to pray. Even when I don't feel it. There are moments like the mornings I say, Lord, I don't feel it, and I'm going to do it. I feel bad, God, because it makes me feel as if I'm just meandering around and not meaning what I'm doing. I mean it, you know, but today is just not the day of really feeling it. And he understands we're humans. But I'm making it a habit because I want to build a good life. I want to build a relationship with God. I want to understand him. I want to do the right things, and I want to become a better human being. It's small. It starts with small habits. And you know what I love with this? It says, even if you improve by 1%, it doesn't matter if the world will come, and the world is going to come and say, you have not changed. You're still the same old this, Mary, Sue, Tom, Dick, Harry. Just reject it quietly, you know. Don't hold it. Don't let it ring aloud in your psyche. You denounce it, you renounce it, you repudiate it, you disavow it, disallow it, and you continue becoming the best person you can be. Because one day when they see the swan or the prince or the princess, they're going to say, oh my goodness, and look how I've been saying this, that, and the third about the human being. You just move silently, dangerously, in a good way, you know, because every small habit will determine the level of success. And you have to fail. You have to accept failure. Failure will teach you. If you don't fail, how you will know that this thing does not work? You know, you just want to know that you listen to good advice. Be cautious, yes, but you have to make the mistakes yourself so you can know, so that it goes into your muscle memory. So you know without a shadow of a doubt that if I do this, this will happen. You know what I mean? If I try to mix mud in water, I'm going to get muddy water, you know? I know for a fact. I didn't just hear it. It's not just second-hand information, first-hand information. Start with small, good habits. Don't worry about what people are saying. It is you know, the Bible says it's a dangerous thing to be concerned about what other people think about you. Yeah. And I'm not talking about go and live any and any old unseeming way or doing something that is unethical or illicit or corrupt. Obviously, you know, that's not what it means. You know, you still have to hopefully live within the laws of the land, the laws of God. But we're talking about what people think. Anyway, guys, you know what to do with TikTok and YouTube. subscribe, give me one of those lines, and you can follow me on Instagram.